I am so excited to be doing our second episode of our Retson Pony Club. So just to recap last week in episode 1, we made a cross pole and we made our arena. So here in front of me, I've just put a portion of my arena. You can see that I have put my outside on and I have painted both of my kitchen rolls to make sure that my cross pole matches. So my arena is all ready to go, and what we're going to be doing today is filling it up a little bit more. So I'm just going to move my arena away a little bit so that we have some space to work. Sorry if my camera is a little bit jumpy. I'm just going to move it down a bit so that you can see the surface. So today we are going to be looking at the next type of jump, which is called an oxer. Now that word is a very horsey term, and we are the only people who use a word called an oxer. Now I have thought of a different way of making our uprights. Last week we used kitchen roll to make our uprights. This week I've come up with a new plan, and I've used some straws and lollipop sticks. So for this session, you are going to need some glue. You can have some liquid glue, which is what I've used, but just normal glue will be absolutely fine if you just keep it and hold it in for a while. Normal glue is fine. I've got some paper straws, but plastic straws will be absolutely fine. Or if you remember, you can make your straws out of paper as well. You are going to need some Sharpies, my favorites. You're going to need some lollipop sticks, some scissors, one of my favorites too, a ruler, some plain paper, and you could use some tape. You might not use the tape, but it is an option. So today we are going to be looking at an oxer, and for an oxer, instead of only 2 uprights, you need 4 uprights. So I've already made the front part of my oxer, which is over here. And how I've done this is I've started off my upright, which is this bit of the jump, with 1 lollipop stick that I've cut into half. Now remember, if you're cutting lollipop sticks, please make sure you're safe and you're asking mom and dad to help you because they're really tough to cut. All I've done is I've stuck them into a X shape, like a times sign or a multiply sign, and you make the base of your upright like that. And that stands really neatly on the floor, just like that. Let me move this out of the way so that you can see for now. Then I've just taken a straw, I've prepped this already, and I've just dipped it into some glue. And I've waited for it to dry so that it's nice and sticky, so it won't take too long to dry. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to stick this on to the top, and I hope it just sticks. You need to hold it down for a little while. And that is how I've made an upright. So I have made 3 already, but these ones I'm going to explain first. So this is the front of your oxer. Okay. Now I've taken my straws today and I've had great fun, and I've colored them into a color scheme. So I've used purple and yellow as my color scheme. I would also like to color in my uprights, but I am not going to waste your time doing that right now. So you can decide, you can leave them white. Mine have little stars on them. You can leave them white, you can do them how you want, but you can incorporate your color scheme through your uprights as well. So this is the front part of my jump, and the pole is just a straw. Remember, you can make your own straws if you want to, and I've just colored with my Sharpies, had loads of fun, and just colored the poles in like that. Once that is done, I've then just simply taken them and stuck them between the 2 uprights. I did have to hold that together for a little while, just while the glue dried, to make sure it was solid. So now these 2 uprights are still a little bit wet, so I hope they're not going to fall apart. The back part of an oxer always has to be slightly higher than the front. So there's one of my other uprights. It seems to be fairly solid, and there's the one that I've just done. So this one might fall apart, I'm hoping not. These back poles need to be in line with the front poles as much as you can. If it's a little bit skewed, don't worry about that. And this back pole that I've made needs to be slightly higher than the front pole. So if you look at it, you'll jump just a little bit higher. Not too much, it mustn't be like that. That's too much, the horse won't be able to jump that. But it also mustn't be lower. It can be the exact same height, but it's best for it to be just a little bit higher. So I'm just going to stick mine there, and I have to hold in the side a little bit. I've already put glue on these, so it's nice and sticky. Remember to try and make your jump straight. You don't want a skew jump because the horse will get very scared of a skew jump. Right, and there is your next jump. So when you've finished your cross poles, you will probably move on to something called an oxer. Now there's many designs of oxers. You could put 3 poles in the front, you could put 1 pole and a cross pole, but there is usually a straight pole in the front and a straight pole at the back. And I'll put up some examples so that you can see all sorts of designs that you can maybe change or build into your own oxer. This is how I wanted to do mine, but you can do yours in another way. So I'm going to take my oxer now and I'm going to place it into my arena, all ready for my horse to jump. So there is your oxer, and you've just used some new terminology and you have learned a new jump. Now our next jump we're going to do is probably one of my favorites. I really enjoyed making this one. And the best way to do it is to find a little box around your house. And we are going to need some catch and roll, or you can find little baby boxes as well. You'll see why in a minute. This one's very, very exciting. So I've taken a box and I've wrapped the box in paper, just like you would wrap a present. Okay, and this jump is going to change or turn into something called a wall. Now, a wall is something that us humans are always very, very nervous to jump because they're really, really big, and we call them really solid because the horses don't usually knock them, and it really looks like you're going to jump a wall. We're scared of it, but some of the horses, it's the best jump they jump because it's a little bit, we call it spooky, which is scary, and it's very big, so they really jump very well over it. And when they jump over this jump, a lot of the horses, particularly the ones that are in international competitions, they do something called basculing. Now I'm going to put a photo up of what a bascule means. And you can see this horse's neck and back are round. So that means they're basculing over a jump, and that is the best way a horse can jump a solid jump. So I've taken my box, I've wrapped it in paper, and I've already prepped it a little bit for you because it does take some time. So on the front, I have put my wall. I've shown you over here how you can get these little white lines in between. Now I've made my wall red. They are usually red in a show jumping arena, but you can be creative. You can make it any color if you want to. And then I've just colored in the top 3 lines, but all of this will be colored in the same. And you can do the wall effect all around your jump. I just wanted to do one side so that you could see the process of how I got there. So that is going to be the front of your wall. Now again, I've only done one side of the wall, which is, we call it a wing. Now, a difference between an upright and a wing is a wing does not hold the jump. So you can take the wing away and the jump can still stand on its own. But an upright, if I had to take an upright off one of the cross poles or the oxer, the jump would fall down. So this we call a wing. It's actually for decoration. And I've used a kitchen roll. As you can see, I've painted it in the same way, or I've used my Sharpies actually. I've not painted it. So you don't have to have the holes in it. I just have reused this one, so you don't need the holes. So you need a kitchen roll And then I've just decided to add a cute little roof on the top. And the way that you do this is super easy. You just need a blank piece of paper and some scissors, and you cut a circle as best as you can. Doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be huge either, as long as it's a circular shape. So just a plain circle. You cut the circle into the middle, and then you stop so that you've got a flap, and you just turn the circle around. You add some glue onto the edges like that. And you just twist it around. You can cut this end off here because it flaps off and it looks a little bit ugly. And then you can just decorate it, like I've put the rings around it. You can do bricks on it, and that will go onto your upright. Now remember, or your wing, this is not an upright, and the other side will look the same, like that. So that is how your wall is going to look. And how cute is that? Imagine really jumping that. That would be really, really scary. So those are the 2 jumps that you have learned today. I really look forward to episode 3, and I hope you are having so much fun making your mini arena. Bye, Ritson.